My entire business runs on these two tools for the most part. There's some nuance to it, let me explain. And I'm gonna share with you why I don't recommend the platform that I use, especially if you're a beginner and you crave simplicity. So for years, I used a platform called SystemeIO. It's an all-in-one tool. It's everything you need. It's emails, it's selling courses, you have your own affiliate program, it's everything you need. And I started using that in June of 2021, before anybody really knew about them. I created a couple of viral TikToks that got millions of views and drove a lot of customers to them, a lot of awareness. I didn't have an affiliate link, so I missed out on a lot of money. And I used them up until last August, and it's a fantastic platform. The one downside that they have is their analytics. They're bad. They're weak, you know, and I like analytics. I like numbers, especially when running ads. I like numbers. So I moved off of them over to WordPress. Now, I've been a WordPress fanboy since 2010. I built my first website. It was called Sin City Trifecta. It was like a sports blog. It was sports, women, and Vegas. That was the trifecta. And it was with two other buddies of mine. I was the mastermind behind it, but I had two other buddies. We did like a video podcast, and it didn't take off like we had all hoped. I think they quit after like a month. And I ran it for 3 years. I posted every single day on that blog, every single day. And then my daughter was born in 2013. And I was like, you know what, it's time to grow up and let go of this dream. So I stopped doing that. But I've always been a WordPress fanboy. I think they say 43% of the websites on the internet today are built on WordPress. You know, it's the leader in websites. But it is technical, and it comes with challenges. You have to host it. You have more control, but you have more responsibility. You know, so I moved to WordPress last summer, everything over to WordPress, and I use a plugin called FunnelKit, and I'll link all these tools down below. I use a tool called FunnelKit. It's $249 for the year. It's funnels, it's landing pages, it's all the things, it's email, it's a CRM, it's all in one, you know. I've been using ConvertKit the last 6 months as my email. I wasn't happy with them. It's expensive, their deliverability is so-so, their customer support is hit and miss, and I just don't like how they do things. I had some billing issues, and so I dropped them last week and I went back to FunnelKit. So now everything is sitting on FunnelKit right now. The only thing that FunnelKit doesn't do, it's not a course hosting platform. But for the most part, I just sell PDFs. So I don't need a course hosting platform, or I hadn't needed a course hosting platform. I do have some trainings that are video based, and I use Skool for that. And Skool is basically my customer hub for a couple of different products that I sell. Not all of them. We got about 425 people in Skool right now. I'm in there every single day. It's basically a coaching group. If somebody asks a question, I give very detailed responses, you know, and I spend a lot of time in there. And I don't monetize it the best. I don't pitch in there. It's a mental mind. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I need to do a better job of that. But that's kind of my customer hub and where I host my video trainings, you know. So those are the two tools, FunnelKit and Skool primarily. Now I do pay for ChatGPT. I do pay for Canva. I do have to pay for hosting. I got my tech stack down. I just did the math the other day. It's $352 a month. Skool is $97 a month. I do use a tool called Senja, which I'm going to make a video about that. That's how I collect testimonials. Highly, highly recommend it. There'll be a link down below. It's $29 a month. I use another tool, another social proof tool called Wiser Notify. I'll link that right down below too. And those are just two softwares that show social proof on my sales pages, you know, to boost conversions. That's the goal, at least, or that's the idea. And then there's some miscellaneous tools. Loom, I have a subscription to Loom. I think I have a subscription to Zoom. There's these little $15, $25 tools that I use. You know, I got another tool that I pay $39 a month for that turns my YouTube videos into blog posts with AI, stuff like that. So I spend about $356 a month. Now, about a month and a half ago, I was spending $702 a month. And I went through all my tech and I said, I gotta start eliminating shit. I was getting a little too fat, you know, so I started eliminating. Some of the tools overlapped. I looked for competitors. You know, I had one social proof tool I was paying $59 a month. Just the other day, I found a replacement for $24 a month. You know, so I was like, all right, let's save $25. You know, so I try to keep a very lean tech stack. I don't like complexity. I don't like confusion. I don't like overwhelm. I certainly don't like to pay a lot of money for all the tech stuff. So that's my tech stack. I use FunnelKit, for pretty much everything. It's built on my website, so I have my blog, my website, all my funnels, all my landing pages. They're all on the Adam Dukes domain. And then my courses, the things that I sell, mostly are PDFs, but some of those PDFs have video tutorials, could be an upsell, could be an order bump. Those are housed within my Skool community. And so I have my community and course platform all in one. So those are the main two tools. However, if I was starting from scratch and I was new, I would start with SystemeIO. It's $17 a month. There's a link right down below. It's everything you need. And like I said, the only reason I moved off of it was because I wanted better analytics and better numbers, because I'm a numbers nerd. However, I moved off that platform last August, and pretty much on a daily basis, I wonder if I made the right move. I traded simplicity for better numbers, and I don't know if it was a good trade. You know, some days I think it's a good trade, some days I don't think it's a good trade. You know, and I guess it's just the price you kind of pay. But if I was starting over, SystemeIO is what I'd recommend. Affordability, ease of use. I've used just about every funnel platform out there. I've yet to find an easier all-in-one tool to use than SystemeIO. They provide fantastic customer support. My hat goes off to them. I don't know how they do it. And for 17 bucks a month, you're not going to find a better tool than that. So I would start off with SystemeIO, and you can build a multi-six-figure business with just that tool alone. And if you want to get weird with numbers and analytics like I do, there's probably other software you can bolt on to help with SystemeIO, or you can move over to FunnelKit like I do. But that's my tech stack. I try to keep it simple. I try to keep it lean. But if I wanted to simplify it even more, SystemeIO would be the way to go. But I like numbers. I like analytics. So let me give you an example. I can share with you how much money I made from YouTube last month with digital products, because my system tracks that. You know, I made $1,700 last month in selling digital products just from YouTube alone, because my system tracks that. SystemeIO doesn't do that. You know, I like that data, and because it tells me where I should double down my efforts. You know, I can look, man, Instagram wasn't that good last month. YouTube was a lot better. Maybe I should spend more time on YouTube. And that's why I've spent more time on YouTube, because my analytics show I make a whole lot more money on YouTube. You know, time spent, like an ROI. Time spent on YouTube compared to like time spent on Instagram and dollars returned back. And my average order value on YouTube is $91. My average order value on Instagram is $46. My average order value on Threads is $29. That's average transaction size. I know that because FunnelKit gives me that data. And so now I don't spend as much time on Threads because it's not as fruitful. I'm spending more time on YouTube because it is more fruitful. So again, WordPress does come with challenges and obstacles, and I have to hire people to help me out at 2 in the morning on a Tuesday because something broke and I can't fix it and there's no customer support. So I have to hire somebody. So that part is a pain. However, knowing the data and the analytics and where my sales are coming from and how much each customer on average is spending per platform, that's killer data. And I will trade up, you know, I will trade that complexity and those 2 a.m. Tuesday headaches, you know, or a checkout page. I've had it where I'm spending $300 to $500 a day on ads and my checkout page isn't working, you know, for 12 hours. I didn't know. I just thought it was a slow day in ads, and then I go look at my checkout page and it's broken, you know. So that doesn't happen that often, but it does happen, you know. But like I said, getting that data and analytics for me is more valuable than a headache and hiccup here and there. So anyways, if you have comments, questions, concerns about earning a living selling PDFs, drop them right down below. I do these daily videos Monday through Friday where I walk around the neighborhood here in Las Vegas and I share a tip, a strategy, a win, a loss, a mistake made, a lesson learned, an opinion, a perspective, a philosophy of mine, and I just do it in one take and I do 0 edits. So subscribe down below if this style content resonates with you.